It is Monday, October 30th. We are one day ahead of Halloween. We are fresh off of NFL Week 8, looking into NFL Week 9. A lot of crazy stuff happened this past Sunday, Thursday too, and we have the Raiders-Detroit game tonight, Monday Night Football. NFL Week 9 has some craziness on the upcoming slate, but we're going to recap NFL Week 8. Before we do that, Brendan, how we doing?
Where's your costume?
I don't have it yet. It's still on delivery, so we'll see.
Oh, do you know what I am?
I do not.
Me either.
Well, at least you're dressed up. I am not.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I don't have a costume, but there's too much that we need to talk about to be fooling around. If you don't know who we are Statletics. We love football and we dabble in analytics. We love walking through the big games and discussing each week in detail. We're going to discuss NFL Week 8, but if you were here for the game picks, just slide on up to the part on YouTube or later in the show where we start our big game breakdown. Brendan, biggest takeaway of Week 8 for me, I had on the books, Kirk Cousins, sad face. Just super disappointing because he was playing exceptionally well. He brought the Vikings back into contention for the NFC North. He was one game behind the Lions just about. And now, in like a contract year where Vikings had all the momentum, he goes down. Extremely disappointing, but we have to look forward. Vikings, it is one day till the end of the trade deadline. If you are the Vikings GM, what are you doing at this point? Are you holding steady? Or are you looking in the trade market? Or you just scrapping this year in its entirety?
If I'm the Vikings GM, I draft Hendon Hooker in the draft. I'm serious. That's what I was saying. I wanted him to go there so bad. Now, he's on the line, so that's fine. But honestly, I have no idea. I'm not a GM, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. There was a recent tweet about a potential eating some W's soon over there, right?
Oh, yes. That would be the most fun 8-9 team we've ever seen. A Jameis Winston-led Vikings offense. Dude, Jordan Addison would have 400 air yards a game.
Oh, my God.
Justin Jefferson would have about 17 targets a game. It would be insane. But I don't want to get my hopes up. So
I do. I need it. Jaron Hall is not good either, but he's their backup. But right. They got to do something. I was throwing around, what was it, Jacoby Brissett or something like that. He's the Commander's backup thing. Mm-hmm. But I like Jameis better. That's so much more fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know it's spooky season when you start hearing murmurs of Carson Wentz making a comeback. That's the last thing I want. I'd rather just watch, whoever their backup is just come in and take control. But it is disappointing because, again, that Vikings team had all the momentum in the NFC North. It seemed, Justin Jefferson was on track to come back in time, but now things may be pushed aside with the Kirk Cousins news. But it's just super disappointing because he's easily one of the most likable quarterbacks in the league. In my opinion, I think it's hard not to root for a guy like Kirk, especially if you watch the quarterback series on Netflix. Extremely disappointed, for him. I feel awful.
Sad.
And hope nothing but the best for him, his family, and a speedy recovery. Next takeaway for me out of NFL Week 8, Bengals are back. After their obligatory few weeks where they start off the season looking really tough, this is typical Bengals stuff. I don't know why we didn't expect this after the previous 3 years that we've seen out of them. They always start slow and they always look bad. And then they come back out after like the bye week or something and they just look absolutely insane. And so I'm glad to see Joe Burrow fully healthy. I'm glad to see the Bengals offense back in their groove, handling a really, really good 49ers team. Now, I will say there was a bit of unluckiness on the 49ers side of the ball, but Brock Purdy also did not look right. So I'm I'm concerned, but not in its entirety. I think they rushed him back after that concussion from last week, and they're going into the bye week. He'll be healthy, and then I'm sure they'll be all fine. I'm not too terribly worried about that. But again, the takeaway, Bengals, they're back. The offense in a groove, finally back in contention in their division. What do you think? You think they're back? You still skeptical? What do you?
No, I'm in. I'm in. They look great, and 49ers are a great football team through and through, and they just diced them up. So I mean, it's kind of hard to fail when you have Chase Higgins and Boyd and Mixon. Now Mixon just looks good all of a sudden for some reason. He just looks like he can run the ball. But yeah, I mean, did Sam Hubbard come back in the game? He hurt his ankle. I was just curious about that.
I didn't see him come
Defense
back.
fan. Okay. Well, either way, they're still raw.
Yeah, but
go Bengals. They're back.
Yes, sir.
They're back.
Speaking of a team who is performing better than how they started the season, Dallas Cowboys absolutely routed the Rams. What I can say I can't say I expected to beat them at the degree. I did take the Dallas Cowboys -6 if you watched our last show. So, victory lap a little bit. Sorry. But Dallas Cowboys looking for real again. Dak Prescott found his groove. CeeDee Lamb just has an absolute hang your nuts type of game. That was impressive. But yeah, I mean, Dallas's offense was firing on all cylinders just about. The defense looked great against a really solid Rams offense. And, they're going to be really hard to beat in Jerry World. So they do have a tough test coming up. They're going to Philly. So that'll be a fun one. We'll save that for later in the show when our big game breakdown. But man, what'd you think about the Cowboys? Real? Not? Overreaction? Underreaction? What do you think?
I mean, it's hard to tell when they put up 40 points one week and put up 10 points the next week. So that was against 49ers. But I don't know. I mean, when they are good, they blow teams out.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going off of that, but I honestly have no idea. I mean, Dak looked really good. So
yeah,
I mean, they just looked like
Dak's best game.
Yeah, they just had a perfect game plan. The Rams could not stop them, and that was like by not even running the ball, really. So I don't know. I don't like the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know. I don't either. I'll capitulate on them a little bit. I was down on them coming into the preseason. I'm still holding steady with my takes. But they're definitely better than I had presumed coming into the season. But we'll see. We'll see how Mike McCarthy can capitalize and see if he'll keep moving forward with the progressiveness of the offense and how he responds to the shift in the league. So Cowboys to be determined, but they're certainly looking a lot better than I had expected, and I think a lot of people had expected. Will Levis, performance of the week. My goodness, that was insane. I'm very tilted in the fact that he did that against my Falcons, so not happy with the Dirty Birds performance, but I have to talk about Will Levis. 4 touchdowns in his rookie debut. Ryan Tannehill in the past 6 games has only had 2 touchdown passes. So I think depending on his performance this Thursday night, we may see a new starter out of Tennessee for the rest of the season. I will not sit here and say he is for sure the guy because, again, my Falcons could let anybody air it out against that defense the way they were playing on Sunday. And I will say this, Marcus Mariota, if you remember in his debut, he threw 5 touchdowns. So we see how that turned out. I don't want to get too hasty in our analysis and in our projections of what the future is going to look like. But Will Levis, solid all around. I have to give credit where credit is due, even though I hate it. But yeah, I mean, he performed well. Any other takeaways there? What did you think of Will Levis' performance on Sunday?
I mean, I think he had a good game, but I think it's fake news. It's just it's noise. It's not news.
It's noise. Okay.
He's got to go to Acrisure Stadium and play a really good Steelers defense this coming Thursday. So we'll see how he does on the road. But, getting put in there, first start at home, just throwing the ball as far as he can. I mean, he got an arm on him, but he puts mayo in his coffee. So, obviously.
So to be determined. We're going to pump the brakes.
Yeah, to be determined because of that. I don't know.
That's Brendan's expert analysis.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon but puts mayo in his coffee. B-.
That's a D-.
That is pretty sacrilegious. All right. Hey, Chiefs. What the heck, man? Go into Denver. They lose to Denver for the first time since 2016 when Peyton Manning was on the team. That is wild. That's a lengthy time period. But I will say Patrick Mahomes was playing more than likely with the flu. He did come down with an illness Saturday night, and everyone is speculating that it was the flu just based off of what his family was going through. I think the kid had it, and then his wife got it, and then ultimately he ended up getting it. So I will give some credit there. The Chiefs, or Patrick Mahomes specifically, was dealing with the flu, and he was down pretty bad. And you could tell he was definitely off a little bit. He had some really good throws still, but he was off, especially the pick he threw. That definitely did not look like Patrick Mahomes, but nonetheless, they couldn't do anything offensively, and they gave up 24 to this Broncos team, which is pretty pathetic considering how good the Chiefs defense really is. I think a lot of people don't realize that their defense is a top 10 unit in the league right now, or at least playing like it. But huge surprise there. I didn't expect the Chiefs to drop this game in that fashion. We'll put a little asterisk with Patrick Mahomes' flu game, but did you have any resounding takeaways? Or you you going to take this one and be like, an acorn finds a nut, a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, or is this, you think the Broncos are back on track?
I mean, I can't remember his name. There was another guy who, this was a playoff game. I think he had the flu, number 23, I think.
Mr. Michael?
Mr. Michael. He seemed to play fine. He seemed to play fine.
Mr. Michael Jordan?
Mr. Michael Jordan. Oh, that's who it was. Yeah, he seemed to play through it and play pretty well. So I don't take that as an excuse for the $500 million Patrick Mahomes. But he got paid, and then all of a sudden, Kermit the Frog. And I mean, honestly, I think the Broncos had a pretty good plan going into it, and they played pretty good. So I think it's more of because the Chiefs have kind of been pretty middle of the road all season, and so I think this is more of a testament to the Broncos' game plan, and they do seem, based off this game, like they got their head out of their ass a little bit. So I mean, all the players are good in the NFL, so
true.
It's football, but I don't really have any huge takeaways from this game, to be honest. I just don't think the Chiefs are there, but they, seem to be gods come playoff time. So we'll see. But they haven't looked good all season, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out down the road. We'll see if they can get their shit back together and back on focus on the playoffs. Last takeaway I had from week 8. Seahawks, baby. What a win. Seahawks. They just muscled through one of the best defenses in the league. Exciting finish, exciting win at home for the Seahawks. And I think the reason that I wanted to discuss them on the show was because not only did they win, but in fact, they made so many mistakes where they, it's kind of impressive that they still won, albeit the mistakes. So if the Seahawks can clean up those mistakes, if Geno Smith can clean up those couple of interceptions that he threw, if he can, protect the ball a little bit better, this unit is a serious contender. Their defense is only getting better. Their rookie corner is balling out. They just traded for another piece on the defensive line. This team is going to be in contention when it's all said and done. And a lot of people laughed me out of the room. Well, that's figure of speech, but laughed at me on YouTube or Spotify, whatever it may be, for saying that they're going to give the 49ers a run for their money for the NFC West. And I stand by that. They're 6-2. They're looking great. They may be able to catch the 49ers at the right time. The 49ers are looking a bit weak, not bad per se, but they look beatable, and they are beatable. We've seen that. So Seahawks, great win against this defense at home, being able to gut it out even through the mistakes. I think once they clean up the mistakes, they're going to be a phenomenal team. Brendan, what do you think of this game? What do you think of Seahawks moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, the Browns are, if not the best, one of the best defenses in the league right now. And they, even through all those mistakes, I mean, they've got pieces everywhere with Charbonnet backing up Walker in the running back room. And then with Lockett, Metcalf, and JSN, and Geno behind them. I mean, they're a good squad. And I like rooting for them. And I mean, they look good going here. I mean, the Browns could not have had a worse luck on the offensive side for like the totality of the season, with Deshaun being a pussy and then Chubb breaking his leg in half. Like, it's just really unfortunate. Right. But I mean, their defense is the only reason that they have any wins up to this point. So, but yeah, the Seahawks played well, really well.
Yeah, get on the Seahawks. We'll see how the Browns bounce back. Breaking news into the show.
No way.
Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon said he decided Josh Dobbs is no longer the starter, and that Clayton Tune or Kyler Murray will start on Sunday against the Browns.
Why go to Clayton Tune right now?
I'm guessing he's just saying just as a precaution, but it's probably going to be Kyler Murray. We can read between these lines. Unless they trade Kyler Murray, why not start Kyler Murray? So
why are they? But why would they go away from Dobbs and put Tune in? If that's so stupid.
I mean,
whatever.
Like they're as good as Dobbs has been to us. They're still losing games. So if they're going to keep losing games, might as well try somebody out. But again, I'm reading between the lines here. I think that's just like coach speak and hearsay that they'll try Clayton Tune or Kyler Murray. But at the end of the day, it's got to be Kyler Murray. They're going to trot out Kyler Murray unless he gets traded for some egregious reason. I fully expect we'll see number one out on that field in the Cardinal red.
Kyler to the Vikings.
Be sweet. Would be sweet.
That'd be pretty cool. I like Winston better.
All right, man. Hey, that wraps it up for the Week 8 recap. It is NFL Week 9 big game breakdown time. We are here. We're going to talk about the biggest games on the slate. And then at the end of this segment, we will give our quick shot for the remaining games on the slate. There are so many good games on this slate. NFL Week 9, the halfway mark, we get some phenomenal matchups. And I am so excited to walk through them. Brendan, I'm going to start it off hot. Dolphins go to Germany. So,
sorry, this
is a Frankfurt game. Dolphins go to Germany. The Chiefs go to Germany. They're going to play each other. Chiefs minus 2.5 point favorites. The point total's at 50.5 right now. Tyreek Hill matches up against his former team. Chiefs coming off of a really tough loss to the Broncos. Dolphins coming off of a really solid win against the Patriots. So momentum difference coming into this game. Hopefully Patrick Mahomes is a little bit more healthy after last week and healed of the flu. But two dynamic offenses, two solid defenses going head to head in this game. Potentially fireworks all around the board. Before I get into all of the numbers, Brendan, snap reaction to this line. Tell me what you think.
A Reek revenge game in Germany? That's what I like. Honestly. Is A-Chain coming off IR yet?
Not yet. He won't come off until week 11. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like the underdog with the points. I'm going to go Dolphins minus 2.5.
Okay. I respect it. Now, looking at some of the Vegas numbers right now, per Action Network and the action that they are tracking across the big books, 91% of the bets are on the Chiefs. 97% of the handle is on the Chiefs. I am shocked. to be honest with you. I am really surprised that a majority of the tickets, a majority of the money is coming in on the Chiefs, especially how widely liked the Dolphins are, with this being a neutral field overseas. I'm relatively surprised. I did not expect that in the slightest, but I will say the projections like Miami this week. So I ran the preliminary projections. I will post them later in the week. You can find all of our projections at Statletics_, both NFL and college football projections. College football projections are crushing it this season. They're hitting it over a 60% rate. And then the NFL is sitting around 58, 57% hit rate. But again, above even nonetheless. But yeah, projections like Dolphins this week, as expected. But I think there's a little more to read between the lines. I think the Chiefs get the nod on the defensive side of the ball. And I fully expect us to see a more well thought out game plan against the Dolphins rather than what we saw last week against the Broncos. And of course, we see a healthy Patrick Mahomes. This one's going to be fun. There's no home field advantage, really. It's going to be kind of a conglomeration of all sorts of fans. There's no crazy behavior in the betting splits other than the fact that all of the money is on the Chiefs. That kind of shocks me. But man, I don't want to let recency bias take over my pick and and persuade me in a certain direction and make me take the Dolphins, but it's going to be hard not to. But I think I'm going to ride the Chiefs 2.5. I think they do.
Why are you going against Scarlet?
I know.
Why are you going against Scarlet?
I don't like going against Scarlet, but I kind of have to at this point. It's only right, you know?
Volkswagen. All right.
But
beer bet.
But
beer bet.
Fine. Okay, I'll do it. Chiefs -2.5 beer bet. Dolphins beer bet. Let's make it fun. Yeah, that's going to be one of the most exciting ones. I'm glad we get to wake up on Sunday to some pure fireworks. It's going to be awesome. Start the day off right. All right, before we head on to the next one, guys, we appreciate you listening. If you could like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and drop your favorite picks in the comments. We love scanning the crowd for that information. Let us know what you guys got cooked up on the books. Let us know some sleeper picks for the week and even some player props. You know, there's so many picks that it's hard to cover them all. So comment your favorite picks. Comment what you think we get right. Comment what you think we get wrong. We love to see that information. Like, subscribe. Appreciate it. Moving on. NFC East marquee matchup. Dallas goes to Philly. Both of them coming off some pretty stellar wins last week. Eagles are -3 home favorites in Philly against the Cowboys. The point total is at 46.5. And if you watch this show, you know we never, hardly ever give out picks on point totals. But I think there's no way this doesn't go over. I think this point total hits the over, and I think it hits it pretty easily. I'm going to say that there. Don't have to discuss that anymore. But Cowboys go to Philly. Eagles are -3 home favorites. The projections would favor the Eagles by 3.5. So right on the nose with Vegas. Nothing really crazy from the projection side. Looking at the betting splits, 79% of the tickets are on the Eagles. 80% of the money is on the Eagles. So no misalignment between the money and the handle. A little bit of a lopsided towards the Eagles. Brendan, what do you think about this game? Who do you think takes the throne, man? What do you think? Let me know.
I just look at it and for some reason I think the Cowboys are going to cover, but I can't do it because I'm with Stephen A on this and always. So I'll be listening to Stephen A on Monday to be talking about the Cowboys when they lose. Eagles -3.
And yeah, I guess you just always rode the Eagles, and rightfully so. They've been a relatively profitable team. So
I just won't. I mean, look, I like this disclaimer. I just won't pick the Cowboys. I just won't. I can't. I won't do it. So, Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, I picked him last week, so that gave me a beer bet for
That's fine. I
NFL
won't do
Week
it.
8.
You can do whatever you want.
I can't do it either. Not in Philly. I think the Eagles are too good in Philly at home. Their team is getting near 100%. I will say this Eagles defense is not as good as they once were in the past, but they're still solid. You know, they're 13th in the league in overall offensive EPA allowed. They're a top 10 team in offensive EPA generated per play. Flip side, Cowboys are in a similar boat. They're a top 15 team in offensive EPA. After last week's game, they weren't until this past game, but they're a top 10 team in EPA margin allowed on the offensive side of the ball. So it's going to be a fun matchup. I think both of these teams find ways to score on each other. And I think the Eagles ink it out similar to how they did against Washington last week in a tight one, man. I think this is going to be awesome. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. There are too many phenomenal offensive weapons in this game for me not to believe that there's going to be points on the board. But after the way that CeeDee Lamb performed last week, after the way that we've seen AJ Brown performing last week, not even talking about the quarterback play because both quarterbacks balled out last week too, but strictly looking at the talent profile of both offenses, there's going to be production. And I wholeheartedly believe it'll reach over 46.5. I think it'll be around 52, give or take. So I like the over here, and I like the Eagles -3. I'm more confident in the over than I am in actually taking the Eagles -3. But again, Eagles are too good at home for me not to ride with them. And this Cowboys team, I can't trust their coaching until I see more tangible proof that they're willing to adapt to the rest of the league and what they're doing. So Eagles -3, 46.5. And I will give Dallas credit. If McCarthy figures it out, uses more motion, uses more play action, and gets more creative in how he gets the ball to his playmakers, such as CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Brandon Cooks, and the rest of those guys, then I will be on the Dallas Cowboys hype train. I've seen that once or twice this season, but there are definitely games where I can still point to and be like, what the hell is this? You know, we've seen CeeDee Lamb put up some big goose eggs before, and you're like, why aren't you force feeding this guy? Get the ball in his hands. So if I continuously see that, then I'll be on the Dallas Cowboys train. But right now, I'm hesitant. And because of that, and because of the statistical profile of this matchup with the Eagles being at home, give me Eagles -3. I'll take that all day. Next game, the Damar Hamlin special. Bills go to the Bengals. Bengals are 2-point home favorites, surprisingly. You can actually find this book as Bengals 3-point home favorites on some other major books. Point total is at 47.5 points. Bills coming off of a solid win against Tampa Bay. They barely missed the cover nonetheless, but it's still a really good win.
So pissed.
Bengals absolutely routed the 49ers. Great win on their end. Easily covered their spread. Happy we still got it with some good closing line value at +6 last week. That was a good call on our end. But a lot of momentum riding into this game for the Bengals. They get this game at home in prime time, and this is a chance for them to showcase that they're back. And they are well deserving of a top spot in the league. Before I get into any of the numbers, Brendan, how do you feel about this game? How do you feel about this line?
Over.
Just over everything.
Over. No, man. Look, cool story, right? And the league will do anything they can to have the Bills win this game. We must remember that.
You think it's because it's a Damar Hamlin special?
Yeah, I do. They'll have a whole broadcast about it. But it doesn't matter. Bengals by 10.
Bengals by 10. I will beer bet you right now. Bills +2. I will do it on this show. Beer bet of the year. Let's do it. I will take the Bills +3 any day of the week.
Harrison, you're way too woke, man. You're way too woke. Get out of here.
Super mega unit max, whatever that betting bullshit is. I don't even care. I'm doing it. I'm putting the mortgage on the Bills +3 where I can find it. I am doing it. I think the Bills house the Bengals. I think it's not even close. If this game was at Buffalo, oh my God, this should be priced at Bills -10. This is like a like set your kids up for life pick for me, And if it doesn't work out, I'm screwed. But I'm doing it, man. I'm sending everything I can on the Bills. For me, I think the matchup between these two teams aligns so incredibly well for the Bills' favor. The only thing that the Bills don't have going for them is their defensive unit pieces, where, they lost Matt Milano. They lost a lot of guys on defense, especially in that London game. We saw like 4 different guys go out for the season. And so what really stinks is that they don't have the defensive unit that they once had, but it's still fine, still a decent unit. And I think that this Buffalo offense matches up with this Bengals defense so incredibly well. And man, I know a lot of people are riding hot.
Over.
Yeah. Over. That fits your narrative. That fits your narrative for sure. But let's take a look at some of the numbers real quick. I'm going to pull up some of my insider numbers from that I used to generate the projections. Total points in the league, 3rd overall for Buffalo Bills, 25th in the league for Cincinnati. Total yards, Buffalo 8th in the league, Cincinnati 32nd in the league.
Brother. Now, you got. This is a completely different team than how they started.
EPA.
Quit with that.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That. A lot of people are going to think this is a completely different team. It is not. It is not. It is not a completely different team. They are better. Like mentally they are better, but mentally they're better. They're back in it. But I think personnel wise, I mean, dude, I know that the Bengals have that sexier offensive core and Jamar, Joe, and T, but dude, Bills, better complete team. I think they absolutely whip it out. Offensive EPA margin.
Oh, good.
Bills, 2nd in the league. Bengals, 25th in the league. Pretty big discrepancy here. All things considered. Offensive EPA allowed. Bills, this is where, things get weird. Bills, 12th in the league, 9th in the league. Read that number wrong. 9th in the league in offensive EPA allowed. Bengals, 18th. Less than middle of the road. The numbers say, the proof is in the pudding, baby. Give me the Bills. Let's also look at what the projections say. The projection was to have the Bills favored by 4 in this game, even with the Bengals home field advantage. Give me the Bills.
Let me tell you something here. I love predicting exact things to not happen. So this is what I'm going with, okay?
You do. Sometimes they do happen.
Overtime. The Bills get screwed again in overtime. Don't get the ball first. Do you know how long Joe Burrow's dick is? Gotta be.
Thankfully, I don't.
Gotta be this. Gotta be that. And Joe Mixon scores a touchdown every time wins.
Wow. Okay. Here, I'll get it here.
So Bengals by 6.
It's the 4th quarter. There's 6 minutes left. Joe Burrow heaves a touchdown to Jamar Chase.
6-yard
bomb.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
6-yard bomb. Jamar scores. Bengals bring it to 17. Bills 28. Yep.
Josh Allen heaves it, and here comes DeMar Hamlin off the sidelines, catches it. They don't call a penalty for 12 men on the field.
Yeah, that comeback player of the year is locked for DeMar.
It's so locked. It's there's no.
All right. Back
good.
All seriousness. That was fun. I'm fun. We have a couple of different beer bets that we can rotate through. This is gonna be fun. But that game, Sunday Night Football, could not be like we finally get a good primetime matchup. The last few have been pure dick, but this one is going to be phenomenal. I am super excited for this one. We get some real football in Sunday Night Football prime time. Moving on, Seahawks go to Baltimore and play the Red Hot Ravens. They came off a weird game against the Cardinals where the Cardinals actually covered a 9.5-point spread, or I think it was 9-point spread. But nonetheless, this game is in Baltimore. Seahawks coming off a solid win against the Browns. We talked about that earlier in the main show. Going to be a fun one. Could be a potential offensive shootout. However, Vegas doesn't think so. This point total is sitting at 43 points in its totality. Looking at some of the betting splits, 72% of the bets are on the Seahawks, but 53% of the handle is on the Ravens. So the majority of the public tickets are on Seahawks. The majority of the money is coming in on the Ravens. Potential sharp money, can't say with any certainty, potential sharp money coming in on the Ravens, -6. Brendan, before we get into it, snap reaction to this line. What do you think about this game and why?
I don't have one. I just want to watch it. I don't have one. And the fact that it's 5 or 5.5, whatever it is, makes it even more up in the air for me. I have no idea. Truly. I mean, I would lean Ravens at home with their defense being better. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Seattle's slowly putting it together and becoming better and better and better throughout the season. Ravens are, pretty steady. They'll have some flashes of greatness and then they'll have some lulls. But, like the Ravens don't look sexy winning, but they win. They're 6-2. And, nobody's going to be like, wow, that was a phenomenal game. Like great team play, but they just win and they're continuing to do it. And so, two different game styles of play. The model projections would actually have Baltimore favored by 4. So about 2 points less than what Vegas has. I'm not really reading between the lines there. I don't think it's too terribly crazy to think that Seattle can keep it close. The under is a bit shady, 43 points. You're basically saying this is going to be like a 23-20 type game, which I can absolutely see. I'm not confident in taking anything either which way. We can dive into some of the numbers here quick. The two teams look very similar statistically. Total points overall, Baltimore tied for 9th place, Seattle 12th place. Total yards, Baltimore 10th in the league, Seattle 15th in the league. We go over to offensive EPA, which is quite impressive for both of these teams. They're both top 10 units in offensive EPA per play. Ravens 10th, Seattle 9th. A lot of that's due to Geno Smith's play. He's very, very efficient with the football in his hands. So some impressive quarterback play from him. Baltimore offensive EPA allowed per play on the defensive side of the ball, 2nd in the league. They have a world-class defense, and I think that's why the Ravens are generating more and more hype as we go on. People really see them as a full, complete team. But Seahawks have a sneaky good defense. We haven't seen this in the past couple of years, really since like the Legion of Boom era, but Seattle 8th overall in the league in offensive EPA allowed per play. And we're seeing them, again, add more pieces. They just traded for a really solid defensive lineman. And then their defense, they have that rookie corner who's balling out, Witherspoon, really great addition to that defensive unit as well. This is going to be fun.
Reek Woolen, an absolute animal.
Yeah,
him and Witherspoon, weigh like 160 pounds, like soaking wet.
It doesn't matter. They can
dogs.
They're all over the field. No, like awesome. Wherever the play is, they're there. That's the beauty about it. They're true football ballers in that defense. So, it's tough because for me, I really want to take Baltimore, truthfully, or I really did want to take Baltimore, truthfully, but I think I got kind of ride with the Seahawks, man. I think they can keep it close, and I think they can at least backdoor cover. I think that this offense is too talented to just lay an egg. Now, I think Ravens defense, this will be one of their toughest challenges that they face, but I mean, DK, Tyler Lockett, and now Jackson Smith and Jigba coming onto the scene, and you have an elite rusher out of Kenneth Walker, and then Geno Smith, who, is a really efficient passer in the pocket. I think they give Ravens a run for their money, and I think we see something similar to what we've seen with Ravens games in the past. They kind of just lull through their games and don't really try to get out ahead, and they're not super aggressive once they put points on the board. So, Seahawks at 6. I actually see it at 6.5 on some other books.
If it's 6,
again, it is.
I could get behind
it's early
Seahawks
in the week.
At 6.
Yeah, so we see some discrepancy. We see 6.5. I have 6.5 in my book. I have a feeling we'll start seeing it decline with the way that the betting splits look. But yeah, 6.5. But if it drops down to 5, I don't recommend taking it. But I like anything north of 6 for the Seahawks.
Mike Bobo, anytime touchdown score.
Jake Bobo. Sorry, Mike's his brother. Yeah. No, I think Mike Bobo is an NBA player. We're just getting our sports mixed up.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Yeah, right. Team White Bobo. Anytime. Put that
okay, here we go. This is kind of an ugly game, but I included it in the big game breakdown because it'll be a fun one to bet on nonetheless. Rams go to the Packers. Packers are 2.5-point home favorites. Breaking news into the show, Matthew Stafford has a sprained UCL in his thumb. However, he's considered day-to-day, so I fully expect him to play on Saturday in a game like this. Packers, man, they let me down coming off of a tough loss against the Vikings. I thought they would keep that a bit closer than what they did. But Packers 2.5 home field favorites at Lambeau. The point total is 50.5, so really lofty point total. Vegas expects a lot of points. Now, assuming we get Matthew Stafford, assuming everybody's healthy on both sides of the ball and both teams, 2.5 points. What do you think about this game? What do you think about this line? Let me hear it.
Matthew Stafford threw a game-winning touchdown when he dislocated his shoulder. He's not going to let a thumb stop him. I think Stafford plays. I think Rams win.
Okay, so you think the Rams win outright?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do.
Interesting. It's sad because I really, had high hopes for the Packers. I thought they could be better. I thought they would drop a few games that they shouldn't drop just because of their young core of offensive players. Really, their whole team. In fact, they're the youngest team in the NFL on, looking at the average age of starters. So kind of crazy. Disappointed in them. They should be, they should have 1 or 2 more wins in their pocket. I still believe in Matt LaFleur. Now, if we go and look at some of the betting splits just to see the behavior of what's going on, 64% of the tickets are on the Packers, 65% of the handle is on the Packers. So nothing crazy. No weird behavior there in that game. Let's look at the projections. The projections would actually favor the Packers by 4 instead of 3 or 2.5. And I see it. I think with the Rams, they have a phenomenal offense, but what really holds them back is the defensive unit. Aaron Donald's the only name that anybody would recognize on that defense. If you watch that team, it's like, what?
Byron Young? Come on, baby.
But, dude, we're the only ones who would recognize Byron Young.
He's so good. He's like 16th in pressures in the NFL. Come on. I saw that stat somewhere.
If you ask any casual, name anybody other than Aaron Donald, they probably couldn't do it. They
just don't know. They just don't know.
They don't. But that's what we're here for. We're here to educate. Byron Young is a baller, but the secondary is abysmal, dude. We saw what the Cowboys did to the Rams. I mean, they absolutely shredded him. So I think that with the right game plan, I think Jordan Love can get back. This pains me that I'm doing this again, but I'm going to buy into the Packers. I think they can get it done. I think they can win at home at Lambeau. All it takes is a couple of explosive plays, and I think that Green Bay's really, gotten off with some bad luck and some, not really hitting on a few plays that they really should be hitting on. Some deep ball throws as well. Packers are 12th overall in the league in offensive EPA. Rams are 7th. Not surprised there whatsoever, especially with the production that the Rams are producing. Rams 29th in the league in defense or offensive EPA per play allowed. So their defense, again, we talked about it. They're not good. They're not good whatsoever. Packers, they're 20th overall in the league and offensive EPA per play allowed. So a little bit better nod on the defensive side of the ball for the Packers. Even if Matt Stafford is healthy, I still like the Packers 2.5. And I think that I like it because on the off chance, maybe Matthew Stafford does sit. Stetson Bennett still has that weird thing going on. He's not showing up. He's staying at home. So the backup would be Brett Ripon, I think. And if he does end up starting, then this line will shoot up to, Packers 4.5, Packers 5. So I think I like taking it early. That's what I've done. Definitely not touching the point total. 50.5 seems steep for a game that could easily be, in the high 30s, low 40s. But we'll see.
Does Jair shadow?
No.
Okay.
No, not anymore.
Just curious.
Yeah, he only lined up against Jordan Addison 3 times last week.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, but Jordan Addison had 50 yards and a touchdown on those 3. So Addison's a real deal. He's a real deal. All right, hey, last game on the big game breakdown slate. It's yucky, but we promised everybody we'd always do the Thursday night football. Titans go to the Steelers. Steelers are 2.5-point home favorites in Acrisure. Titans have a new look with the new quarterback behind the center in Will Levis. Balled out last week. Will we see it again? I don't know. Steelers will be a bit steeper of a task to throw 4 touchdowns against, unlike the Falcons were. So Steelers 2.5-point home favorites, 36.5-point total. Really low expectations for both of these offenses by Vegas going into this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the betting splits. 27% of the money, or 27% of the tickets are on the Steelers. 49% of the handle is on the Steelers. Public believes in Will Levis. Crazy enough. I'm not, again, you heard me if you watched the full show. I'm not on the Will Levis train yet. I gave him credit. I think he did play a phenomenal, first time outing for a rookie, especially. But I'm not going to buy in yet until I see him make all of his stats were all 4 throws. If and I know that's crazy saying like if you take away his 4 throws, I'm not saying take away his 4 throws. I'm just saying put him in a situation where teams actually take away those deep throws. Put him in a situation where he has to, hit his second read or hit his third read and make better decisions and quicker decisions to check it down or go to the other read. So I'm going to wait and hold my analysis until I see that out of him and I see 1 or 2 more data points, 1 or 2 more games, really. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. And, the only thing that sucks about having a new quarterback is it makes it tough to bet on. So you can roll the dice that Will Levis is going to ball out again and take the Titans +3 here, or you can take Mike Tomlin taking advantage of a rookie quarterback at home in Acrisure and the points and see what you can get. Brendan, before I dive into any of the numbers, what do you think about this line? What do you think about this game?
So I was just looking at my history. I'm 0 for 4 betting on the Steelers in the month of October.
That's his favorite team, by the way. That's his favorite team.
So
we all bet our favorite team.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Titans to cover.
Oh, you're gonna reverse jinx it. This is gonna be the first week that Pittsburgh covers, and you're gonna be tilting your ass off.
No. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Titans to cover because I want the Steelers to win.
Okay.
I want to be wrong. I am doing this to be wrong right now. So should listen to me. Listen to me. This is not what I think. This is not what I want or think will happen, but this is what I'm doing because I want to be wrong. Titans cover.
Well, Titans are 18th in the league in overall offensive EPA per play. Pittsburgh 27th. Crazy. Not good. We jump on over to the defensive side. The Steelers are 11th in offensive EPA per play allowed. So really solid defense, as expected. It's the steel curtain. Duh. Titans, 24th in the league in overall offensive EPA per play allowed on the defensive side of the ball. Not good on that front either. So this one, again, I see why it's totaled so low. I don't even again, I'm not touching this total. I have no idea what to expect out of this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes under. Just due to the nature of this game, they're going to try and grind it out, both of them. It's going to be a Najee Harris and Derrick Henry combined for 40 touches for a total of 60 yards. I'm definitely not going to do anything with the game total here, but I think that for me on the book, I have Steelers 2.5 just because, again, Mike Tomlin against a rookie quarterback at home. The numbers, it just sucks because there's not enough data for me to make an educated guess. And where I really make my money is using the numbers, playing the numbers game, and coming out profitable side of everything's, especially using our projections. Found at Statlytics_. But yeah, I'm going to ride with Pittsburgh here just as a field game. I don't know if I believe quite yet that Will Levis can repeat his performance. And if he can, then fine. If he can do that going into Acrisure in Pittsburgh, then so be it. I'll be on the train. But I need to see one more game. I need to see one or two more performances like that for me to truly buy into who Will Levis is as a quarterback. So I'm still hesitant. I'm taking Mike Tomlin against the rookie quarterback. I think he has the better defense. We see that in the numbers. Pittsburgh definitely has a better defense. They also have the home field advantage, and Pittsburgh has one of the best NFL home field advantages in the league. Titans, they're beat up. As good as they performed last week, they're still beat up, and they're missing a lot of key pieces on the offensive line, and especially in the defense. So Pittsburgh 2.5. I'm taking it, and I'll happily run with it.
Just listen to this. Will Levis is going to shit his pants when he drops back. He says, "Hi." He's got the ball, and he just hears,
TJ Watt.
And then he looks to his right, and there's TJ like this. Like that. And then he tackles him. He tackles him, and he's like over him. Yeah. Like a dinosaur. Yeah,
TJ Watt's going to butt munch this offensive line. It's going to be crazy.
I hope he wears his brown pants because they'll end up being brown.
Yeah. Hey, those Oilers jersey did look sick. I got to give the Titans there. All right, hey, that wraps it up for the big game breakdown site. Let's go through a bit of quick shot to wrap up NFL Week 9 games. Commanders go to the Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point home favorites. Commanders or Patriots in this one?
Somehow.
Agreed. Commanders here.
Commanders.
Bucks go to the Texans. Texans coming off a tough loss to the Panthers. Bucks are +3 road underdogs. So Texans are 2.5-point home favorites.
Bucks.
Ooh, I'll take it. Texans -2.5. Cardinals go to Cleveland, play the Browns. Browns are 7.5-point home favorites against the Cardinals, with potentially Kyler Murray coming back.
Cardinals.
Browns. Chargers go to the Jets. Jets +3 home underdogs. You think the Jets defense can hold? Yeah, Jets are +3 at home in MetLife.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers. I like the Chargers. Projections have the Chargers winning by 3. Right on with me.
Well.
So Bears go to New Orleans. This line, there's some big discrepancy in this line. 7.5 on some books, 5.5 on some other books. Saints are the favorite team, obviously. Do you like the Saints? What do you like the Bears?
Did you watch Tyson Bagent?
Yeah, he was mid. Some good plays, some bad plays.
Did you see some of the he just threw a pick straight to the dude. But yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Anyway, there were a couple where I was like, the Saints. You can't stop Alvin Kamara. Yeah. They're not going.
Projections have Saints by 7. I'll ride with the projections. Get him at 5.5 if you're going to take him though. Shop your lines. Vikings go to Atlanta, play the Falcons. This game was actually in the big game breakdown until Kirk had to go and rupture his Achilles, unfortunately. But Falcons are 3.5-point home favorites. again, due to the Kirk injury. Do you think that Falcons can get it done without Kirk? Or do you think Vikings find a way?
Well, I have a question. So, if they were to trade, like, tomorrow, would he play this weekend?
Probably.
Would Jameis play? Vikings?
Okay, I'll take the Falcons. It's my team, by the way. So, projections with Kirk, because all of the data is with Kirk, would actually have this game as a pick even. Again, it loves Falcons home field advantage. It gives the Falcons like 4 points anytime they play in the dome at home. Colts go to the Panthers. Panthers are 2.5-point home underdogs. Do you think the Colts can cover by 3? Or do you think the Panthers steal one?
Colts.
Yeah. I like
Colts.
that. Yeah, again, the projections have a Colts problem, so they definitely think the Colts are going to win.
What'd they say? Colts by 16?
Do what?
Did they say Colts by 16?
Let's see. I just had it pulled up. I was too hasty in clicking next. Yeah, Colts by 7.
Okay. Colts.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. Giants go to Raiders. We haven't seen the Raiders play tonight. We haven't seen the Raiders play NFL Week 8. They play tonight. Raiders 2.5. They'll have Jimmy G back. Or Giants plus 2.5.
Yuck.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Daniel Jones will be back too.
Oh my god. Raiders are at home.
Yeah.
Raiders. I don't know.
Projections like Raiders to cover, but it's using like bad data, I guess. But we'll see. Hey man, that wraps it up for NFL Week 9. Brendan, we appreciate you being here. Guys, we appreciate you listening. We will be back here for NFL Week 10 next week, and we also have college football content. Find that on our channel. We appreciate you guys. Talk to you guys later. Happy Halloween.